That is Vibes on Vibes by Mariah and Mbithi. And you heard it right here on Baze Radio. Good morning to you and welcome to the AM. It is 15 minutes to the top of the hour. So, Eunice, about that time, we get right into it. And my second man of honor is in the building. Make some noise for Amandeep.
Hello. Hi.
Aman, please, we need more energy. So, you know what? I'll rewind the tape. Make some noise for Aman.
Hi.
Oh my goodness. Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm amazing. Dude, you're such a character. I can't. Mm-hmm. So for those who don't know who Aman is, I think it's only right that you introduce yourself, let them know who you are. Because I don't feel like I'll do justice.
It's a nice way of showing you did not do any research.
Dude,
on who your guest is.
Your research is here.
You know,
I have you on paper, my G.
I worked in radio, so I know when you do not do research on your guest.
Oh my gosh, Aman.
I will not do you the justice.
You won't do it just.
So please introduce yourself.
So,
let me let me do your work. My name is Amandeep. I'm a stand-up comedian in Kenya. Started comedy in, I don't want to say the year, but
that's a while back.
2014.
Yeah.
And now we're here, and I'm going on my first Kenya tour.
Yeah.
Thank you. See the energy. That's the energy you wanted. And I'm excited.
Bless you. Speaking of 2014, that's literally a decade of you being in comedy now.
Yeah.
So what's the journey been like so far?
It has no problems. I think everybody should become a comedian. It's such an easy road.
Oh, the sarcasm.
There are no
you.
bumps. The Kenya has such a nice market for stand-up, especially English-speaking stand-up comedy. It's huge. Everybody loves us. All shows are fully booked. The corporate gigs cannot stop coming. I'm telling you, if you want to be a stand-up comedian, now is the time to be. 10 years ago was the time to be. Now it's too late. The
cake's already taken.
The cake's already been taken. No more gigs, no more rooms for you, bro or sis.
Goodness me.
Nah, I mean, generally, it is supposed to be hard, in my opinion. Because I think it's a blessing to have a career where
not too many are thriving in, and it's very true.
I mean,
it's true.
What I'm trying to say is like even being a radio presenter, I know it's fun. It's a blessing if you make a living out of something that's so fun, because a lot of people make a living and they don't
enjoy. That's
exactly.
Very true.
So I guess stand-up comedy is even easier for me, and I think it's supposed to be hard. So when that blessing comes, you really appreciate the fruits. Serious answer.
Okay. And I'll be honest, my first time hearing about Amandeep was on Churchill. Mm-hmm. And at the time I was still, I was like, who's this?
Even I didn't know.
For some strange reason, you reminded me of I don't know if you know him, but you reminded me of a character that I used to listen to on radio back then. His name was Vipul Doggy Dog. You don't know who Vipul is?
I'm a very young boy.
Oh my god!
I might look like a 43-year-old, but I'm a young at heart.
Man.
Who was Vipul Doggy Dog?
You don't know Vipul Doggy Dog? So Vipul used to be a presenter on another radio station. Of course, I can't mention it, but he used to be a presenter, and he was the funny guy on it. So when I saw you, I was like, he really does remind me of him.
Interesting. You're the first person to not compare me to Russell Peters. I'm like, thank God. I was expecting Russell Peters, but thank you so much.
Nah, Vipul, I'll actually put you, because he's been in on few local films as a character. But anyway, I'll tell you more about Vipul.
Please.
But as we head down, Churchill, I think so many comedians recently have come to give their different experiences on Churchill. Some say it was very cutthroat. Some say that apparently they had a good time. I'd really just want to understand, to you, how was your experience on Churchill?
Yeah, I loved it.
What specifically did you love about it?
I think because I had brown privilege. I was the only Muindi boy there, so maybe I guess I was
things were a bit easy for you.
I guess. I mean, although I did have to go through the system, which I guess it's part of it. If your jokes, people say... That's the problem with comedians. We have an ego. We think, and it's supposed to be there because that's the reason you think you're smart enough or good enough to get on stage.
True.
And let people hear you. There's an
Yeah.
ego behind it sometimes. So some comedians, I think, they took it personally when your jokes get rejected, and maybe some reasons were true, some reasons were not.
Okay.
But it's just part of the game, and I just had a good time. I guess all the opportunities that arose from it, I took advantage of them, and most of them I did not, but the ones I did, I felt nice about it, and I think it was a wonderful experience.
Okay.
There's no other place to do stand-up comedy at that time, so it's either this or nothing, and I prefer that over nothing.
I get that. But hey, guys, we're just getting started with our conversation with Aman right here on Baze Radio. But yes, if you have any questions, please send them on 0716-250-933. My social media at Mariah Mariah at Baze_radio. As we get deeper into the music, coming up next is Easy Stance by Wakadinali. And that is Easy Stance by Wakadinali, and you heard it right here on Baze Radio. And you're tuned in with me, Mariah Mariah. We're still deep in the AM of conversation of the day is still going on with Amandeep.
Yes.
Not you nodding like a doggy, sir.
Hey.
You see what I did there?
I could do other things like a dog too.
Nah, fam. Nah, thank you very much. Before, we were still talking about your journey in comedy, and you detoured a little bit and you spoke about radio.
Yes.
And I think it's very interesting because there was a time where in the Kenyan media space, having a presenter and a comedian was a thing. And he really was a thing.
Is it still not?
I don't think he is as
Okay.
like back then, because there's a time for like a few years it was a standard. A presenter had to have a comedian, and being that you doubled as one, a comedian and a presenter, how was that experience for you, considering especially knowing comedians, you guys really have no filter and are very cutthroat?
I think I was more of a problem off mic rather than on mic.
Really?
Yeah, because my non-filter, because when the mic is in front of me,
Of course, you're limited. There are things that you can't say.
I get in a different zone, and I just get into work mode, and I can handle my words, because there's so many things I could say right now that I'm not saying, because I am in work mode. The mic is in front of me, and I know what to say, what not to say.
Yeah.
But it's off mic is when there's the filter, no problem. So I think that's where
Things got a little bit
I had
crazy.
issues. I was called into HR quite a number of times because of the things I said to fellow workmates. I thought I was just messing around, banter,
yeah.
but I didn't know I was hurting their feelings. I respected somebody more if they came back and got me also. That would make it fun.
Yeah.
But I guess people are just.
Everybody's a little too serious.
On air, they knew I wouldn't say what I wanted to say. So
they catch you off guard.
Even then, I would handle them well, but it's off air when a guest comes over and I just try to, pull some leg here and there, trying to make jokes.
Okay.
But they don't get sarcasm. I'm like, hey man, that's your problem.
That sounds like a you problem.
You seem like you live a boring life.
Yeah.
If this is offending you, you have not lived long enough.
Facts. Well, hey, I need to get the character of the jokes. But is it something that you're still considering? Would you still go back to radio given the opportunity?
Bro, who's producer over here?
Wanakusikiza, you should your shot.
This is how I know you did not do your research. Not to embarrass you.
What do you mean?
But I am on radio at the moment.
Where?
On Saturdays. I have a show on Saturdays.
Really?
Yes, it's called The Scoreboard. Should
On
I say?
Thingy,
I say the name?
I know the station.
Yeah.
I know the station. I didn't know you actually do that. But that's sports.
Yeah, but I've been doing it for the past 2 months.
Aman, that's
Cheeky.
new.
Who's producer, bro? Producer, you guys.
Aman, that is so new. You can't blame me for not knowing what's happened in the last 2 months. You can't blame me. I'm sorry.
It's all over my social media.
Well,
I forgive the female brain.
Yes, dude. As you should.
It's fine.
You should. But that's actually no. But forget.
Yes, but to answer your question, I would love to go back on radio.
Main.
And maybe do a sports show like on a weekend. It would be pretty fun. I love sports.
You know what? I think this is the end of this interview. I think you need to leave.
Why am I the problem?
You actually need to leave. You're a menace.
Why am I the problem?
No, but honestly, that's my bad. I didn't know you have a new show that's
don't
been 2 months
apologize.
now.
It's fine. Your producers is the problem.
Period. Blame them.
Not you.
Blame them. But yes, guys, we're still in conversation. We have barely even started. And of course, we'll be digging deeper into why Amandeep is actually here in studio. But yes, tunasonga tukisonga. As we get back down, it is more music. Coming up next is Nakam by Kalamoto, Saru, and Butros right here on Baze Radio. And that is Yaba NBN with Nashanga, and you heard it right here on Baze Radio. Good morning to you and welcome. Oh, it's no longer morning. Goodness, good afternoon. We are still deep in our conversation with Amandeep right here on Baze. Clearly, you don't need it. It's okay.
That was nice, actually. Deep in conversation with Amandeep.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah. I knew. I'm supposed to be in comedy, but hey, a day at a time. As we're still talking, let's talk about stand-up comedy, right?
Yes.
And right now we're living in a very different era where everyone's woke, everybody's trying to find offense in every single thing. And as a stand-up comedian, you know how first of all, because I've heard some of your jokes, very cutthroat and very, how is the reception of some of your jokes, especially right now in this woke era? Have you ever cracked a joke where somebody came to your DMs later and they were like, "Aman, I didn't like that joke because you said this and that"? Like, tell me, what's the reception like, especially for stand-up comedy?
First of all, you're lucky to be a black woman. You can just do a whole sentence with just a sound. She just said cutthroat and That's a whole sentence. That sound means everything. And
yes.
I got the message, and that's interesting. But honestly, I think Kenya has we try to be America, but we're not America, like culturally. So the wokeness does not work over here.
Would you say so?
Yeah, man. People like, who are you gonna cancel? Somebody who's not even
cancelable.
Yeah, man. Who cares? There's not. I mean, sure, there are people who get offended by jokes. I remember the first time, even till today. One thing I would say is, it's only funny until it's about you.
True.
You know, so I make fun of everybody, but then when I make fun of certain people, like for example, I think the worst one, or the one that I remember that got me the most messages, was when I was doing a show, an open mic actually, and there was a Rwandan table at the back, and they were making noise the whole show. They were ruining the show for everybody, and every comedian's joke, they were heckling and stuff, and the other comedians were a bit younger and they didn't know how to handle it. I was also young, but I was...
You handle it better than they did.
It's an open mic, man. People have not paid money, so I can
do whatever.
Be a bit rough.
True.
So when I got on stage, they also tried to heckle me, and then I made some jokes about Rwanda and, the 1994 situation. And they did not like that. But it was funny. Everybody else laughed. I'm not going to lie. The audience was on my side because they ruined the show. You don't come to a free show and ruin it. If it's free, appreciate the free jokes.
So if they paid money, it's okay, you can heckle.
That's even worse.
Because really you spent money to come spoil a show.
So I had to put them in their place and tell them why Kenya is a freedom of speech, freedom of expression type of society.
Yikes.
I had to use my rights as a Kenyan citizen, as a boy of this nation, and show them why we are better. And later they did say they would never come to a comedy show, and I think that was the best result of it. Because we've never had a show ruined the way they ruined it.
They ruined it. Man. That was classic. Oh my gosh. Man.
I mean, you know the type of jokes I'm talking about, right? Yeah.
Dude, I've listened to your jokes a couple of times. We're actually about to get into that because there's one that I think we actually need to... Yeah, kuna moja lazima tuongelee. But as we get back into the music, guys, we're still deep, and I actually have a question that came in, and I'll need to ask you that in a little bit. But yes, keep them coming on 0716250933. It's about that time we get back into the jams. Coming through is a classic, Tattoo with Teso, right here on Baze Radio. That is Kato Change and Winyo and Suraj right here with Oriti, and you heard it on Baze Radio. Good afternoon to you and welcome. We're still deep in the AM, and of course we're chatting to the main man of the hour, Amandeep. I like that you don't even have your headphones on. Like you're just cruising.
Yeah, I don't want to complain, but there's nothing in my headphones.
What? You should have been told me. Can you hear me now?
Kinda. Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Boom. So let's get right into it. And I was going to tell you about this joke that you cracked that was very cringe for me, but that will lead us to the question that I'm about to ask you. So, at Being Kenyan, that is Tying Gashira's show, you were the opening act, and there's a joke that you made about the socks. Do you remember the joke about the socks?
Socks?
The teacher who used to sniff the socks.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the joke I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I kind of read the room, and everyone was just like, huh? Most guys didn't really relate to it. And it really had me thinking, considering that you're born and raised in Kenya, but you're of a very different culture and very different race altogether. Is it, does the kind of jokes that you crack, are they influenced, like, by the things, your different culture, your different race, or is it just that you see things that have just happened and that's why you get inspiration for your jokes?
I think both. Sometimes inspiration from jokes can come from both sides, right? And I do believe being different but the same. That's I think that's my whole shtick. Same but different.
Okay.
So I do understand both contexts of the other tribes of the official tribes of Kenya, the other 47 except the 44th, and then I also get the 44th tribes opinions. And so I guess they come from both sides.
Okay.
My personal experience and what I just noticed. And sometimes the whole point is just to be funny. So
okay. It's really not that deep.
It's not that deep.
And when it comes to also coming up with your jokes, is crowd connection really important? Or for you, it's as long as the joke flies in your head, you give it a go?
I think they're both important. The crowd connection is important. That's how the joke works in an external format, like external from my head.
Okay.
Because if it's funny, first it has to make me laugh. Then if I laugh, then I try to see if other people will laugh, and then it becomes a complete joke. Otherwise, if I'm the only one laughing, it's a joke just for me. And I just, those ones usually don't make it out. If I try it a couple of times on the crowd, like an open mic, and it doesn't work, I keep it on the side. Maybe I come to it later, maybe an year or two later, depending on how good I get as time goes on. Maybe I figure out how the language was a problem, or the wording, or the timing was a problem, or just the topic, the premise, whatever. But of course, definitely crowd connection is the most important part of stand-up comedy, live performance, in any type of live performance, I would say. Okay.
Yeah. And speaking of timing, there's something very interesting that you've said, and we were debating about it. So Mamito, when Joey was sentenced, and Mamito did the joke, and it was very clear that society was divided, because some guys felt like, I mean, it's comedy, she can do it. Other guys are like, nah, bad taste. Do you feel like when it comes to comedy, there's timing for things, but is there a limit on things that you can make jokes on? Is there a timing, on when to make jokes about certain things, even when they're not funny?
I'm not understanding the question. So, are you asking me, are there some topics we are not supposed to joke about?
Yes, are some topics off limits?
Personally,
and I wouldn't even necessarily say some topics are off limits. I'd say timing. Is there a timing? Soon? Yes, to make certain jokes.
I think it depends on who you are as a comedian. Some comedians can figure it out. Some comedians can touch topics immediately and make them funny, because that's the whole point of comedy. It's not to run away from awful things. It's to make awful things funny. And what is more noble than making bad things funny? I think people, it's like this is what I think some people are. They're stupid, actually. It's like getting angry at Rambo for killing people in a movie. Like, bro, it's a character. Yeah. It's a performance. Yeah. This is not. But I don't think, as they said, the Greeks said it better. It was comedy is tragedy plus time. But depends how good the tragedy or the time was, and depending how good the comedy is, you don't have to wait. I think just depends how good of a comedian you are. Because I remember hearing stories about comedians during 9/11 when the towers hit in America. Comedy clubs were packed in America, New York especially that time, and every comedian was doing 9/11 jokes the day it happened. So nobody waited. That's the whole point of comedy, is to make sad moments lighter.
Okay, makes sense. Well, we're still deep in conversation, guys, and as we're moving, of course, we'll be talking about why Amandeep is here, and yes, we can't wait to deep dive into that. Are you ready?
Yepity.
Okay, but right after this one, this is Masauti and Lava Lava with Dondosha right here on Baze Radio. Samboso and Mohammed Almanji to make your Wednesday afternoon. You are tuned into Baze Radio. My name is Mariah Mariah, and as we're still cruising, we are still in conversation with Amandeep right here. Hey, now you're excited. You can.
Yeah.
And as we're still getting into the conversation, we're yet to get to why you're actually here. But Dave Chappelle was in Kenya. Mm-hmm. Did you attend?
Yeah, I was front seat actually.
Why not front stage?
I don't know. I think it was just a certain arrival, and I was just happy to just be in his presence. I didn't even care if I was performing or not. I just wanted to see and take a lesson from how cool he was, and he's really cool.
So what was your takeaway after the whole thing?
That comedy has a lot. There's so much to learn.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if that was. I think did you attend?
No, I'm not. Honestly,
yeah.
Listen.
It was the best show ever.
I'm not the biggest fan, so it doesn't even pain me.
No.
That Mans was here.
Of course, you're not the biggest fan now.
I've never been.
After you didn't attend, but
I've never been.
It was fun. Biggest take is, as I said, there's so much to learn from comedy, and he wasn't even doing I would say a prepared set list. Like, these are the specific jokes I'm gonna do. He was just riffing, in my opinion, just going with the flow. More not improv, but the set list wasn't fixed. He was just going with the flow.
Okay.
And he had a joke for nearly every situation, and he was just too loose. There's so much loose, LOOSE, he's just chill, going with the flow,
with the waves.
And it was still amazing. He's that guy, man.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I hear he'll be making around 2. Do you see yourself making?
I hope the organizing committee knows about me and they push my name forward.
Nice.
But if not, just seeing him is worth it, in my opinion. As a comedian, especially.
Okay.
Too much to learn.
Okay. But in your opinion, when we talk about comedy in Kenya and specifically in Nairobi, what do you see the future of comedy looking like?
Damn. I honestly, I cannot say, because anything can happen. But I'm hoping. Let me say what I'm hoping.
What are your hopes in the near future for Kenyan
comedy? I hope we get more comedians.
Okay.
Because more comedians means more opinions, more variety for the audiences in jokes, and also I think more rooms where we can perform stand-up comedy.
Okay. I
think maybe I do believe there will be a English stand-up comedy boom. By that I mean the one we've seen our Kevin Hart, the Trevor Noah types do that type of stand-up comedy.
Okay.
And I do see a boom coming soon. Once it only takes one person. If one person blows up, the whole industry blows up.
True.
And that's why I need more comedians, because maybe it's not one
in
of
the
us.
new crop. You never know,
and that's good. As you say, a rising tide raises all boats. And whoever it is, I can't wait to find out who it is.
you don't want to be the person.
I mean, I that would be very egomaniac of me to say, oh, I want to be the person.
Well, you don't say you do it.
Yeah, but I'm just following my path.
Okay.
If it's me, and I'm just happy doing it. I can't believe sometimes that I make a living out of doing penis jokes. I mean, who does that? That is a blessing in itself.
True.
But if it's me, let's go. Let's have fun. If it's somebody else, let's go. Let's have fun.
Yeah.
You do better. Everybody does better.
Facts.
And it's me. It's definitely me.
Period. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But speaking of, June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Really?
Yeah. Amandeep.
People care about our mental health.
You should, dude. You're a comedian. That is literally why people listen to you.
Damn.
To take care of their mental. So for you, other than listening to Dave Chappelle and cracking yourself up, what do you do to make sure that your mind, body, and soul is at its finest?
Damn, I need help. I think I take cold showers. I go to the gym. I think this is all information I got from listening to podcasts. You just do at least one thing that your brain does not want you to do, that you know it's good for you.
Okay.
Like, the gym, it's a physical task.
Facts.
So you have to go to the gym whether you like it or not. Cold shower, mind over body.
True.
You don't want to take a cold shower, you take a cold shower. I think meditation or just praying, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Praying and meditation are the same thing. I try, but I usually just end up complaining. Like, bro, God, come on, man.
Baze.
Why are you not listening? There are like 7 Kala singers praying at the same time. You can't do even that much, bro. What's up with that? At least Christians, you guys are a billion.
That's true.
Your God is, Yahweh is busy.
Yeah.
Allah has 2 billion. Allah is busy. Kala singers are like 200, bro. Yeah, how busy are you,
honestly,
bro? Come
like
on.
just listen.
Pull up your socks, manze.
So therapy is nowhere in your books.
I mean, I don't know, therapy? I mean, I don't think I need it, but if it's...
Have you considered?
Me, yeah, I don't know. I haven't thought about therapy.
Okay.
I don't know, because I think when I need therapy, I'll know.
That it's time to get it.
Yeah, man, that I think I've gone beyond. But people say you're supposed to take therapy even when you feel nice.
That's true.
So I don't know. I'm not very conversant with mental health in that manner.
Okay.
But I wouldn't. I don't see it as a bad thing. I think it does work for some people.
Makes sense.
But I don't know. I haven't considered it.
Okay.
And I do jokes when I have things that are on my mind. I just get on stage and let them out. And if it works, it works. Doesn't work, doesn't work. But at least I got to
lift something off.
Yeah. Express my thoughts in a manner that
humorous
makes sense
way.
to me. Yeah.
Makes sense. But what's the one message you would send to men who, of course, will watch this or are tuned in right now? What's the one message you'd send to them, on how to take care of their mental and, just basically how to live just out?
Just stop watching pornographic material, bro. That will ruin your brain. You look at... Yeah, man, it might sound funny, but it's true. It's me. I don't know. I don't watch any of that stuff.
Okay.
I've never watched Mom. But it just ruins your brain. It's just the instant gratification that you get that is not worth it. Because then you don't want to do harder things.
True.
Same with like Instagram. Stop going on your phone all the time. It makes you compare yourself to other people, which sometimes is fine. You're supposed to compare yourself to your peers.
Yeah.
But now you're comparing yourself to global. The globe, bruh, it's not the same.
True.
Your environment is not the same as a kid born in South Korea. His government did better than your government. This is not in your control. This is why you don't live the same life as they do. So don't worry about it. It's not in your control. But now because of social media, we feel like, I'm supposed to be with this 24-year-old. You look at Mbappe, he's like 19 years old and he's living the best life.
Facts.
And you're like, bro, me, I'm 39 and I'm still
barely.
I'm driving a Toyota Sprinter. This is not the right thing, but it's just social
everyone's
media
journey is different. That's very true. Well, hey, as we're about to wrap it up, we'll be letting you know why Amandeep is actually here. And of course, ways that you can actually interact with him off and on social media. But that's coming up in the next bit. Coming right up is Ndovuku and Lil Maina, My Work is to Party, right here on Baze Radio. My Work is to Party by Ndovuku and Lil Maina. And you heard it right here on Baze Radio. Good afternoon and welcome to the AM. You're still hanging with me, Mariah Mariah. And as we conclude our conversation with Amandeep, it's about that time we get right into it. And of course, the main reason why he's here, we'll be talking about his tour that will be happening in Nakuru, Mombasa, and Lamu by the name Doggies on the Road.
Yes.
So fun. I'm very curious about this name. Why Doggies? And how do you say? Is it Doggies on the Road or Doggies on the Road?
Whichever
potato.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just call it Doggies. It's 2 reasons. One, because there's a joke about doggies in it.
Please spit.
I'm not going to tell you the joke. You have to come to the live performance. And also because in the I would say the Kenyan stand-up comedy scene, or just Churchill, that's where it started. Doggy is a joke that you have tried and tested.
Okay.
So it's a joke when things are not going bad. When things are going bad, for example, and you need the crowd to have a laugh, you release a doggy and it goes and bites the crowd, and suddenly the crowd is happy again. So that's where the word doggy came from in Churchill, and these are a collection of all my doggies that never fail. These are always my tried and tested jokes so far. And that's with the Doggies on the Road tour.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what should we expect for all the guys who will pull up for the show? what's of course we'll have a good laugh, but
Yeah.
what would be your main takeaway for anyone who comes to the show?
I think there's a lot of discourse that says, oh, there is no Kenyan comedian who can do stand up for an hour. Well, you're right. There's some of us who can do for an hour 30. An hour is not.
It's the ego for me, but okay.
An hour, you're right. Nobody can do just an hour. Some of us can do an hour 30 plus. So not only me, you'll also see other comedians.
Okay.
Emmanuel Kisiangani,
Nice.
my best friend in stand-up comedy, my first black friend, to be honest. And he will be the one hosting all the shows. So he's a
Okay.
fun guy to watch.
Okay.
And different comedians at every venue. I think Nakuru will have George and David. And then Mombasa will have Doug Mutai. And then Lamu will have Tiger Shira.
Nice.
So not only me, it's a combination of all my friends have made through comedy and all these funny people I know. So it's a variety of comedy. And of course, as you said, you're going to have a good time.
Okay.
Themes of, it's a plus 18 show. So don't bring your kids.
Yeah.
Plus 25, it was up to me. I don't think some kids,
wow.
even 18-year-olds, should hear. But yeah, it's a fun show. You're going to have so much fun. New things that the other comedians don't give you for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd love to hear that. But please let us know where we can get the tickets. If you guys want to pull up.
Oh yeah, so the Nakuru show is happening this Friday, 14th of July.
Okay.
The Mombasa show on 12th July at Mombasa's Alliance Francaise. And the Lamu show at Utamaduni Center on 26th July. Tickets are free. This is funded by He Stage, the French embassy. So you don't have to pay anything. They've already paid me what I wanted. So tickets are free. Just book them on amandeep.co.ke. That's Amandeep, AMANDEEP.co.ke. Reserve your tickets and have a good time.
Sure. That's amazing to hear. Well, also, where can we find you on social media?
Just look for Amandeep Jagde.
Oh, it's honestly, I can't really say that second name.
Jagde. It's phonetic.
Jagde.
Yeah, Jagde.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, yeah, guys, you heard it. Aman, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me, Maria. This was very
Guy,
fun.
listen, of all the people I've ever had to have a sit down with,
Lies.
yeah,
Lies.
You're the most difficult one, but I
Okay, I'll
cracked
take
the
that.
code.
I'll take that.
I cracked it. Yes, thank you so much for coming. And please, if there is going to be a Nairobi show, please let us know. We'll definitely pull up for that one. But yeah, we wish you all the best. And thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
You heard it right here. That was Aman on Baze Radio. And yes, as we conclude, it's nothing but amazing music about to hit your speaker. As we head down, it's some major with Usha White right here on Baze Radio. Remember, we do this every Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So yes, keep it Baze till tomorrow. We out.
This is Baze Radio.
We are 254 to the core.